Hello and welcome to Today at 2. I'm Charlie Gurr and here are today's headlines. Prime Minister Boris Johnson met with his cabinet this morning after surviving yesterday's vote of confidence. 3 police officers in Arizona are currently under investigation after body cam footage appeared to show them watch a man drown. Eurostar rail services will not stop in Kent until at least 2023, the company has said. They say the delay is down to falling profits and passenger numbers. A report today has revealed that there have been 160 incidents of violence at Cookham Wood Young Offenders Institution in Rochester in the past 6 months. But first, Downing Street have described the victory as convincing, whilst many Tories are still calling for his resignation. Boris Johnson won yesterday evening's vote of confidence by 211 votes to 148, earning the backing of 59 of his own MPs. All 359 Conservative MPs took part in the ballot, but are not required to say how they voted. Some did choose to though, such as Sir Roger Gale, the MP for North Thanet. He voted against the Prime Minister and said he would be surprised if Boris Johnson is still in Downing Street by the end of autumn. Former Prime Minister Theresa May faced the same vote back in 2018 and received a backing of 63%, higher than Johnson's victory last night. Back then, Conservative MP Jacob Rees-Mogg called for Theresa May's resignation, but this time he is backing the Prime Minister.
I just don't agree with that. The rules are very clear, that if you win by one vote, you've won. I don't understand why you think there should be a separate...
because of your own words
but
a few years ago.
Everyone disagreed with my words then, and I accepted that I was wrong.
So why did you say it then?
Well, I thought it was right at the time, but even I make mistakes.
Theresa May resigned 6 months later, but it's yet to be seen whether Boris Johnson will do the same. The body of Sean Bickings has been recovered in Tempe, Arizona, after body cam footage appeared to show police officers watching him drown. Police had been called out to an alleged fight between Bickings and his companion, both said to have been homeless. The 34-year-old man began to climb over the 4-foot metal fence when officers ran the pair's names through their database. Bickings then swam out 30 to 40 yards before becoming distressed. Officers had warned him not to enter the reservoir, but were in no rush to help when he did. NBC News has more on the story.
Pretty sure there's like turbines at the base of the dam that can suck him under the water.
The footage, edited by the police department, doesn't include the moments Bickings died, though a police transcript shows Bickings telling officers he was drowning. One told him to come back to the pylon. When Bickings said he can't, the transcript shows another officer replied, "I'm not coming in after you." Bickings continued to plead for help before slipping under the water, police say, moments later.
He jumped in the lake and is trying to swim away.
Bickings' companion, who identified herself as Susan, also tried to jump in, according to the transcript, and one officer went to get a boat while police held Susan back. An officer telling her, "You need to chill out." Susan begged, telling officers, "I love him," adding, "He's drowning right in front of you and you won't help." Hours later, rescue teams pulled his body from the lake.
The 3 police officers are now on paid administrative leave, whilst an investigation is conducted. Eurostar services will not stop in Kent until at least 2023, the company have said. Passengers haven't been able to get on board in Kent since March 2020. Residents there will now have to make their way to St Pancras International to use the service. But it's not just travellers that will be affected. Businesses will be feeling the impact of the delay too. James Dunham reports.
Trains mean trade for taxi drivers such as Tyrone, who've had it tough since lockdown. His company relies on Eurostar passengers.
Initial reaction, a nail in the coffin again.
Tyrone thinks the company's decision is short-sighted.
Why put a time limit on something that nobody knows at the moment? We're all in the same boat, no matter what business, and it just needs to be a more flexible approach, a more scalable approach.
Unions say the government should be doing more. Ashford's MP tells me he's on the case.
What I'll be arguing with the Transport Ministers very hard is that the British government reaffirms its commitment to the Kent services and gives a sort of general pledge of support.
Travel by train across the continent is not only vital to Ashford, which has had a Eurostar station since 1996, but also to here, as developers work on building Ebbsfleet Garden City. Thousands of new homes and businesses, all marketed on the international station.
It's disappointing. One of the things that we are doing now is trying to get a meeting with Eurostar so they understand that business potential for the future. We understand that this is, they've announced this as a temporary measure. We want to make sure it is a temporary measure.
So does Kent's Chamber of Commerce. Joe James is its chief executive.
Ashford has very much based itself, and a lot of Kent, as an international town and a real tourist destination and a place for inward investment. And all of our international connectivity is actually vital for this continued growth.
Eurostar says the decision was hard to make. It won't be much easier for those who rely on these Kent stations, with services not stopping anytime soon.
A report published today revealed that there were 160 incidents of violence in the last 6 months at Rochester's Cookham Wood Young Offenders Institution. The number has fallen by 20% since HM Inspectorate of Prisons last visited in November. But these rates are still higher than similar young offenders institutions in the area, and inspectors found no evidence of a credible violence strategy. Before the inspection, there was a serious violent incident which resulted in a staff member being hospitalised. This is something that concerns Rob Priest, the spokesperson for the Howard League for Penal Reform.
If a child is in trouble, we should be doing all that we can to help turn their lives around, guide them away from crime, and enable them to thrive as adults. Witnessing a serious violent incident such as the one described not long before the inspectors arrived at Cookham Wood is likely to scar a child for the rest of their life. You don't forget experiences like that. And this experience is holding children back again and again and again. Children before, children after, they go through Cookham Wood and they're left with lasting hellish experiences that will never leave them and will hold them back as adults. So it's very, very concerning indeed.
Cookham Wood can hold up to 180 inmates and is at less than half capacity. Consecutive poor reports on the institution means that further inspections could be imminent. That's all from me. Join us again at the same time tomorrow. Goodbye.